Hello everyone, welcome back. We're on our way to finishing our run. Slowly. Let's hope we can continue and do some good with this one, right? Let's begin.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Yada yada yada.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
End of the world, really? End of the world, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people. You have to put an end to her.
Really doubting we have to put an end to her of all people. Really? Her? We have to put an end to her just so you can live?
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. A warning before you
go any farther.
She will
She will lie,
she
she will cheat,
and
she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her.
Don't believe a word she says.
Blah 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 blah.
We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
He knows exactly what he's talking about. Let's see what we get this time.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. Her voice softly carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
It's hypnotizing. It's the kind of voice you only have to hear once to remember it for the rest of your life. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. You're playing a dangerous game by coming here unarmed. Good. You're still listening to reason. It would be better if you had a weapon, but you may still be able to do what needs to be done.
Do it need to be done? Like what? Kill a defenseless person? Like, no. Let's not kill defenseless people.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's beautiful. How could someone like this be of threat to anyone? I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. Do you think you can get me out of these chains?
I'll see what I can do.
You're only making this more difficult.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're making a huge mistake. No, you're doing the right thing. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Nope.
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
Yeah, they would, in case she died.
Maybe there's some way to break the chains? Or if that doesn't work, I guess we can always cut me out of them.
Been here,
She
done
offers
it.
the suggestion with almost complete nonchalance. If we were stuck down here long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out if it meant we could finally be free. You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place. Is someone else here? Your shouts and pleas are met with silence.
Hey, let me out of here, MF. Let me the heck out of here. I do not need to be in here. Not with her.
I'll repeat myself once again. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done. You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd just taken the blade like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
Yes, I did.
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely hesitates
Ooh.
before raising her arm to her mouth, her teeth
Ooh.
tearing as she rips her flesh from her bone. A sound comes from behind you, the clang of bouncing metal. It's the blade from upstairs, or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do that. Without
have to.
hesitation, the wound drives her to the ground. Okay, there's no going back now. I'm with you to the end.
You bastard.
The princess pushes away from you, the motion ripping the blade from her back. Wounded, but still alive, she crouches on all fours in the corner of the room and meets your eyes with the ferocity of a cornered predator.
You've made a terrible enemy, and there's nothing in the world that can possibly save you from me.
I thought we had the upper hand, but it's as if she's barely even threatened by us. It's an act. She's wounded and unarmed. There's nothing she can do to hurt you. I'm not so sure. Don't waver now.
You can just run to the other
Using your
side of the
blade to
room.
deliver a lethal blow, she lunges at your legs with the same animal ferocity she used to tear at her arm. Your blade cuts into her again and again as you're tackled to the ground, your body racked with pain as she rips into you with tooth and claw. Forget about trying to rescue her. This is about survival now. Give her everything you've got. Though your nerves are seizing with pain, you know you've done your fair share of damage as well, your blade having left deep gashes in the princess's back. You seize a moment of hesitation to throw her off of you and shakily push yourself back to your knees. We can still turn this around. You steel your resolve and take another step closer to the princess. You probably won't make it out of here alive, but you can still make sure that she won't make it out of here either. Excuse me? What's this about not making it out of here alive? Do you think this is what I wanted to happen? I have a duty to state the facts of the situation, and honestly, it's a miracle anyone in this room is still standing right now. Don't act so surprised. Can you not feel all those gashes and holes pulling you apart? If the princess doesn't do you in here, blood loss is certain to finish the job. You take another step forward, and the princess lunges towards you. The two of you enter one last exchange, a flurry of blade and claw and fleshy ribbons. And then you stop. Neither you nor princess able to go any further. You collapse on the ground, and the princess collapses beside you. Blood pools around you both, and you watch each other fade away.
After all this time alone, I thought I'd finally found a friend, but you were just another monster, weren't you?
Silence as the room starts to get fuzzy around you. You've paid a terrible price, but you've saved us all. It's over.
If you think this is it, you're sorely mistaken. One way or another, I'll make sure you pay for this.
But you don't have time to worry over such things. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Bam! Just wham! Dead.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do
anything in their power to stop you from
slaying
doing.
her. But don't worry, you can trust us to get the job done. The interior of the cabin is a mess of twisted roots. The walls are chaotic weave
pretty.
of knotted wood that, almost as if by accident, just happens to resemble a room. The floor is damp and earthy, and the only furniture of note is a slab of mud in the shape of a shelf, with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Take the blade.
You take the blade from the shelf. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Well, if we're grabbing a weapon, we should probably keep it hidden behind our backs. She doesn't have to know we have it. That's not actually a bad idea. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase dug into the muddy earth below. The ceiling is thick with roots that hang like locks of tangled hair. The weak starlight from the cabin windows behind you can barely penetrate the gloom here, only illuminating the edges of an opening below. It shines in the darkness like some kind of massive maw, waiting to swallow you up into the earth. The air smells of dirt and copper. It's thick and wet, as if your lungs are being coated in mud with each intake of breath. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor.
Slaying us would probably be doing us a favor too, if that's how thick the air is.
Skitters up from below.
Something nasty finds itself on my stairs. Come on down. Don't be scared. I probably won't bite.
I love how it says skitters.
Silence, I see. Don't think I've forgotten about you. I recognize the sound of your nerve.
She must have you confused with someone else. She seems friendly enough. Maybe we can talk our way out of this whole situation. You can't. Unless you slay her right away, she's going to break free and end the world.
The opportunist.
There's no reasoning
Like,
what she is.
the opportunist.
I'm just throwing ideas out there. I like to think out loud. I'm the kind of guy who likes a discussion. Don't we want to hear what everyone has to say before making any big decisions? Do you want to hear what everyone has to say? Or do you just want to hear yourself talk? You need to stop lingering. Your task is to slay the princess, not endlessly debate about what to do with the princess. Fine, fine. You're the boss. Thank you. You descend the basement steps.
He has a
enter
tail
the
now.
room below.
She's turned into a furry.
You can just make out the shape of the princess in the gloom. She's huddled against the far wall, her eyes bright and glaring from amid the thick roots.
And there you are. One hand tucked away behind your back, gripping that sharp, sharp blade, no doubt.
That's no fair. How would she know that?
So, we've dropped the pretenses. Good.
She's acting like the two of you already know each other.
As we do.
Oh, no. You've already been here, haven't you?
Yes.
That's pretty sharp. How'd you figure that one out? Call it deductive reasoning. Well, you seem to be great at it. Do you remember us then? Do you remember last time? No, I don't. But you and the princess clearly have a shared reality, even if I'm not a part of it. I won't waste time fighting you on something that's clearly true. I'm just glad we could put all this behind us. Is it all behind us? Just focus on the task at hand. I don't care if you've been here before, and I don't care if you think you'll go somewhere else after this. My world is on the line right now, so I'd appreciate it if you would take this seriously and slay her. Let's chat her up a bit first. Maybe we can find a middle ground where everyone's happy. Don't talk to her. You're just going to make things more difficult than they have to be.
Well,
I seem to remember you having a tongue. Do you think that being direct with your ill will frees you from its wickedness? Murder and betrayal are still murder and betrayal, whether you state your intentions or keep them hidden behind your back.
See, this is why we never tell people what we're.
Still, better a violent fool than a plotting coward. Better for me, I mean.
As you close the distance, readying your strike, the princess's chain falls from her wrist. She takes advantage of your split second of surprise and throws a fistful of dirt into your eyes. She could have gotten out of those the whole time. That sneaky little woman after my own heart, really. It's a shame we're playing opposite teams. This is why you couldn't just abandon her here. Left to her own devices, she would always find a way out. Now stop her.
You must have known I would be ready for you. Deep in your heart, you know the same things about me I know about you. We're both so very awful.
As you brush the silk from your eyes, the princess tackles you, flattening you against the dirt floor.
I'm about to die, aren't I?
We were always going to kill each other here, weren't we? I can't trust you, and you can't trust me, and those doubts spin and spin and spin into hate.
She buries her teeth deep into
Yep,
your chest.
I am dead.
tearing it. Great, she's distracted. Stab her in the back. In for a penny, right? Why not? As the princess rips meat from bone, you plunge your weapon into her unprotected back.
Ha, you bastard! Even face to face, you find a way to stab me in the back. I know you, and you're hideous. Absolutely wretched. Just like me.
Maybe we are the same. So what? Throw her off us. Kick her in the shin. We don't have to fight so dirty. Of course we do. Fighting clean won't help us win. It takes a wretch to know a wretch, and we're all at the bottom of the barrel here.
Yep.
No point, are we? At the bottom of the barrel.
Yep.
We've got dirt in our eyes and a chunk of us chewed out. If that's not the bottom of the barrel, what is? No arguments here. You're doing great. Keep playing dirty if that's what you take. If we win, we won't be at the bottom anymore. We'll have climbed a little higher. And once we start climbing, you'll stop right here if you keep daydreaming. None of us ever said we stopped fighting. And what a low and vicious fight it is. Eyes gouged,
Skin scratched,
bloody,
bloody.
hair ripped and nails broken. Every rule there ever was in the Book of Honorable Combat. Both you and the princess have broken a dozen times over. That's nice and all, but are we winning? Nobody's winning. The princess cackles maniacally as the fracas continues. But behind her cackle, you hear the low groan of warping wood. Wait, what's going on? We're establishing a newer, better packing order. No, the groaning thing. What? Who cares about the groan? It's just a sound. I care about the groan. Doesn't that mean something bad is... Oh, yes, well, I'm afraid that's the sound of the basement getting small.
You hear that, you pathetic wretch? Those are the roots of the wild, and they're coming to choke the breath from your lungs and squeeze the life out of you.
Excuse me, what? You and the princess disengage for a brief moment, just long enough to get your bearings. Behind you, the basement door has been sealed over, thick roots barring your only exit from the dirt pit. And slowly, but very perceptibly, the roots are closing in on you both.
That's right. They're coming for you. And they won't stop until there's nothing left down here but them.
You attack the princess once more, and once more the two of you fall into a vicious brawl.
It's like a lower brawl.
To shrink as you fight, but neither of you pay it any more mind. Not until it's too late. The roots twist around you both, binding your limbs and rendering you helpless. As your fates close in, all you can do is watch her, and all she can do is watch you. At first it's almost gentle. The two of you lift it delicately off the ground, but the cradle of the growing roots soon gives way to tightness, and that tightness gives way to bulging pressure as they begin to constrict.
Ooh. Crunch.
The sound of creaking wood is drowned out by the snaps and pops of your bones, pain flooding your senses as you feel your skin deform, being shaped unnaturally by the living basement. Tears well up in the princess's eyes, her own bones splintering and flesh swelling with trapped blood. But still she smiles through it all.
I can't wait to do this again. You wretched little thing. I hate you, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
The pressure is unbearable. You can't breathe, your vision swimming with red, your head pounding as
Ugh.
everything tightens. And then
You die.
pop. Everything goes dark, and you
And
die.
the three in the wild.
We are a path in the woods. We have no beginning, and we have no end. But something cold and unnatural sits watching us from just beyond our edge. His gaze pushes against our borders, curling them in on themselves, preventing them from stretching to the places they need to reach.
No, that's all wrong. You're not a path in the woods, you're on a path in the woods. Who's even saying that? That's not the princess, is it? Oh no. How many times have you been here? I think this is our third? That's bad. That's very, very bad. It wasn't even supposed to reach 2. If you're at 3, well, no wonder things aren't the way they're supposed to be. Let's get our facts straight. What happened last time? What could you have possibly done for things to be like this?
The thing that sits beyond our edge speaks his logic into us. He tries to grasp at things that cannot be grasped. He tries to stare with wide pupils at that which can only be held from the corner of the eye or with a passing glance.
Dear God, she's more cryptic than anything I've ever seen.
Shut up. The rest of you, talk. What happened? What did you do? Sure, there's no reason to keep secrets. Someone decided to go in guns blazing last time, and that someone got us killed. And what should we have done? Let you draw things out with all that conniving? Everyone knows a straight fight is best. It's honest. There's no need to bicker about it. I wasn't trying to start anything. I don't mind what happened to us. I kind of like it now that we aren't actively being crushed. Yeah, now that you mention it, this isn't so bad. And it's not like the fight is what killed us anyway, it was the cabin. No point worrying about who charged who when that place ground us all into paste in the end. The princess included.
It was a fitting end. I'm sorry if it hurt, but doesn't this make it all seem so small?
Yep.
I see. So the cabin ground you into paste, and now you're convinced you're stuck together. What a mess.
He doesn't understand. We aren't convinced of anything, and we aren't stuck together. We're one. This is how we're supposed to be. Can't you feel it? We push back. It may feel like he's everywhere, but presence isn't strength. Otherwise, he would have torn us apart by now. There must be a crack in the walls of this prison. There must be a way for us to be free from him.
She's trying to use you. After everything she's done, you should be able to see that. I may not have been around to witness it, but clearly you remember what happened. How about you try remembering how it all felt?
We can't go back to that. We can't go back to the doubting and the hatred and the schemes. Not after being something as beautiful as this.
Doesn't all that conflict feel so far away right now? So
Yeah, she's being
we've
rather
been
sus.
closed against each other by something that understands the strength of our unity.
Spoken like Honestly, a real puppet master. Have we considered that maybe she's the one trying to trick us?
I'm not.
But there's a feeling, isn't there? That petty feeling she mentioned, it is fuzzy, but it's there. Almost like she still hates us. It feels mutual.
Please, stop. If you pay attention to that feeling, we'll fall apart.
Don't look at it!
She's trying to turn you away from the truth. There's something she doesn't want you to see. I think you already know you have to look at it.
Hold yourself together. We're no strangers to effort. We can push this back down. Something might do us in eventually, but I'll be damned if that something is a thought.
Please, don't make us remember how we were.
And just like that, you start to fall apart. Right, she really does hate us, and we hate her. It hurts thinking about us as separate things, but we're separate. We can't hate ourselves. I love me.
Yeah, of course you
Never
do.
see the end of that fight, did we? We can't both be winners. One of us has to beat the other, right?
Right.
I don't want to remember what it felt like to be killed. It was so much nicer when it didn't feel like it mattered. And yet you keep remembering. You remember the loathing and animosity you've shared with the princess, the pain and the anger and the betrayal. And you start to remember something else, too. You remember that you are a distinct being with a finite form and a mortal body. You can feel it. There is a shifting of the space around you, the infinitesimal movement of your molecules rearranging back into the shape of what you're meant to be.
Maybe bygones can't be bygones. I don't know why I ever wanted to share a body with you, of all things. It's like my very soul reeks of yours. That was horrible. This is better, finally. I'll be able to hurt you like you deserve.
I wish I didn't have to.
Some division, when sown, can never truly be mended. A cavernous gash rips across whatever it was you thought you were. A cabin comes into being among the trees. It approaches, and it swallows your body whole. And then you find yourself, blade in hand, exactly where you need to be. At the center of it all is the princess, a wooden and fleshy heart beating with an unbroken rhythm. You're filled with a sense of purpose. Strike at her. End this once and for all.
Kill me then, if you hate me so much. Just get it over with.
This doesn't feel like a fight. This isn't what I wanted. Where's the victory in this?
Well, this should be easy. If you're sure about it.
I mean, what's the point of being king of the hill if there's no one around to be better than?
Do we have to do this? You have to. You raise the blade, taking aim at her heart.
This is
You
more
strike.
pity for her than anything
I'm
else.
sorry.
I felt more pity for her than anything.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we... Is that a mirror? What?
Approaching the mirror now?
This doesn't feel right. It feels different. Final.
Screw the mirror. We just need to find the princess.
If they think it's bad, I'm with them.
Doesn't it approach? Gaze on the reflection. Or they're gone once again. The mirror always makes them leave. What's in it? Ugh, you're withered. Having a long quiet once again. Get to the cabin. Bar at the cabin.
of contradiction. A mass of tides ebbing and flowing all at once in more directions than my attention can bear to hold. To look at any one is to shift them all into something new, and to look away is to reshape them yet again. All of me is changing, and yet the rest of me is still the same. We will know when we near our destination.
Just
I will be here when it is time for us to meet again.
Fingers darkening. That was a scarred and beautiful heart.
You're on a path in the woods.
Remember to
And at the
like,
end of that
comment,
path
and
is a
subscribe if you
cabin.
like this stuff.
And in the basement of that cabin is
Goodbye.
a princess.